fellow citizens, at this hour, American and coalition forces are in the early stages of military operations to disarm Iraq, to free its people, and to defend the world from grave danger. On my orders, coalition forces have begun striking selected targets of military importance to undermine Saddam Hussein's ability to wage war. These are opening stages of what will be a broad and concerted campaign. More than 35 countries are giving crucial support, from the use of naval and air bases to help with intelligence and logistics to the deployment of combat units.
Решение по проведению специальной военной операции. Ее цель – защита людей, которые на протяжении 8 лет подвергаются издевательствам, геноциду со стороны киевского режима. И для этого мы будем стремиться к демилитаризации и денацификации Украины, а также преданию суду тех, кто совершил многочисленные кровавые преступления против мирных жителей, в том числе и граждан Российской Федерации. Призываю вас немедленно сложить оружие и идти домой. Поясню. Все военнослужащие украинской армии, которые выполнят это требование, смогут беспрепятственно покинуть зону боевых действий и вернуться к своим семьям. Кто бы ни пытался помешать нам, а тем более создать угрозы для нашей страны, для нашего народа, должны знать, что ответ России будет незамедлительным и приведет вас к таким последствиям, с которыми вы в своей истории еще никогда не сталкивались.
Today we bring to you some of the facts behind the Ukraine-Russia conflict. Anyone who has watched both the videos above can understand the fact that a matter is not important for war. President Putin did only the right to defend his country. Is it wrong to oppose the installation of NATO missiles near Russia by granting NATO membership to Ukraine? What would be the American response if Russian missiles were installed near Canada? Ukrainian President Zelensky has deliberately put his own people in trouble. Instead of extending his hand to Russia, he approached destruction by extending his hand to the West. At present, NATO, including the United States, is organizing a firefight with petrol instead of water. Are you Americans doing the right thing? The Iraq War, the Afghan War, the Syrian War, the Vietnam War, the Libyan War. How many innocent lives were lost in each of these wars? The US regime is creating crises, and they are feeding on various crises in the world, and Ukraine is another victim of this policy. States that depend on the support of the Western powers must know that such countries cannot be trusted. You are now talking loudly about the war in Ukraine and Russia. Western nations, including the United States, are fully responsible for the Ukraine war. By the end of the Vietnam War, more than 58,000 American troops had been killed, and about 1.1 million North Vietnamese troops and Viet Cong guerrillas had been killed. More than 250,000 South Vietnamese soldiers were killed and more than 2 million civilians were reported killed. Did the then US government commit a humanitarian act? I do not know why the world is so unfair. At that time, many civilian lives were destroyed due to the poisoning of water sources in Vietnam, and many children are still born deformed.
Dioxin. Once in the body, it can hit just about everything, including the nervous, respiratory, and circulatory systems.
Dioxin remains toxic for decades.
It's also not water-soluble, meaning it doesn't degrade easily, and genetic effects can be passed down through generations after one person's exposed. For some vets, the first symptoms began with blurred vision, memory loss, and lack of concentration. From there, the symptoms can get a lot worse. Agent Orange has been linked to prostate cancer, lung cancers, Parkinson's disease, and birth defects, among other diseases. After coming back from the war, soldiers and their children born after the war began to show symptoms. Vets began protesting as effects showed, but the VA said there was a lack of evidence to support their claim.
Many presidents in the United States have fought wars with other nations, and many believe that only President Donald Trump has taken a different path. We must also pay tribute to Donald Trump for his role in maintaining peace during his tenure. America speaks highly of human rights. Once time the United States rejected the UN Human Rights Council. The UN Human Rights Commission was the first human rights mechanism in the UN structure. Due to its shortcomings, the Commission was abolished in 2006 and the United Nations moved to establish a more powerful UN Human Rights Council. 170 countries agreed to the resolution, but the United States and 3 other countries opposed it. They oppose the establishment of the Human Rights Council, and it is ridiculous to talk about human rights today. The whole world is well aware of American policy. There is no point in performing their old play now. It is the only play they have acted in throughout history. The American people watching this video should not be against the Russian president but should protect their lives from the ruler of their country. Their American people and brothers are dying in wars that are not their own. How many Americans are currently dying because of wars that are not their own? They did not want to die for other countries. Sacrificing one's life for one's country is heroic, but sacrificing one's life for another war in another country is a different story. It is important for all to create an efficient organization to end these wars, and establish peace as well as to look into and remedy the possible causes of war. Thank you all for watching the video. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you in another video. Until then, have a nice day.